today I'm giving you Izzy tips and tricks. I said I was going to do a tips and tricks video yesterday, and here we are doing it now. I'm just going to give tips and tricks mainly on 1v1. Not a lot of public servers, because I really don't like public servers. And there's not really strats public servers, because everyone is different, but this is one for basically mostly 1v1s. But yeah, murder is viable on Rails, and if you're murdered on House 2, always go to Rails, just because you can't predict it here. Now, people will say Sheriff is better. I think Sheriff is honestly better when Sheriff is right here, because that means murder has to rush. And although Sheriff doesn't have Rails, Sheriff has this little spot to easily predict, and when they come this way, it's like very easy to get them. And like sure, murder has this advantage to just keep peeking. I just still think Sheriff is better because it can still peek right here, and sometimes right here because it's a pretty bad spot. So yeah, I think murder is better over there. Sheriff is better over here. And I'm gonna give some murder tips while I'm here. So first of all, let's go over throwing. So it takes, let's count how many times it takes. 1, 2, 3. So what you're doing now, you can't get predicted easily. So immediately again, because they're gonna know how long it takes to for you to throw your knife. So try to take some time, like once you peek right there, like wait a little bit, wait till they shoot, and then if you're gonna throw yet, I'll just throw. So that's what I usually like to do. Sometimes you can throw like immediately after, but I say just wait sometimes, like 1, 2, 3. Don't wait like a long time, but just wait a little bit so that they can't predict you. Just wait a different amount of time every time you throw. And if you're rushing, do not spam jump. It's gonna make it easier. But you can spam jump like manually, like kind of like this. Like this isn't spam jumping. It's like jumping manually. It's like managing it kind of. And then first person is kind of good, but not that good. Because you're going side to side if you're in first person, and it makes you easy to predict. So I think third person is better for rushing, and I think shift lock is better for peeking like that. Or if you're on mobile, then yeah, just third person is better for everything. But yeah, especially as murder, because a lot of people struggle with this, like even I do. So yeah, I'm gonna give y'all some tips on this. I'm gonna just get my alt to go over here. So yeah, my ult is right here. So let's just see. So say my ult is right there. We're doing whole 1v1s. Now, if it's in mid 1v1s, I'll show you how to do those after. But yeah, if you're like peeking like this, like on halls and stuff in Office 2, wait till they shoot every time. And then as soon as they shoot, just make it through there. Because the cooldown is enough time for you to make it in this room. So once you're in this room, you're basically good. Because usually people don't have good aim when it comes to this because the pressure goes down to them. So when they shoot again, you're just gonna rush a little bit. I know my ult is amazing, but you would rush like right here. They would get scared. They would go like right here. And I say just go like right here and then just peek like this. But don't get too confident because they can still kill you because of these holes right here. So I say try and move them into mid. So then when they're in mid or something, let me just bring my ult over there. So when they're in mid, that's when you just start playing regularly. And that's where I get to other regular murder tips. Now let's get to stabbing. I don't like stabbing in 1v1s. I don't recommend stabbing in 1v1s. But if you are, honestly just do the same strat as rushing. Just try and like zigzag a little bit. Try not to get predicted. And don't use the same strategies whenever you're rushing, because people are gonna know, people are gonna be like, oh, so this is how Izzy rushes, so just try to hit him to the right every time. Like, just, like if you're on PC, it's really good to dodge, because you can go on the shift lock, third person, first person. There's a lot of ways to dodge, and if you're on mobile, it's also easy to dodge. Because mobile is just a little bit laggier, so, like, mobile is just laggier in general, so. Yeah, I think that's basically it for murder tips. Another thing to have is just always just try and predict. If you see like where someone's going like all the time, and you see how they peek, just try and throw. Or if they're really good at dodging, just keep your like mouse on them, or just try and like only aim at them. So just also only aim for the head, because when they jump, it's gonna hit their legs anyways. So yeah. You're always going to want to take tank, because tank you have boxes, and although murder could easily like predict you either way, if they're good at predicting, just run back to boxes. Just run back and then just try and snipe them from here, because it's a lot better. And if they're predicting over there, that's when you sneak your way over to this part, over to these boxes. Now these boxes are very good, especially as sheriff, because say the murderer is like right here trying to predict you, you can do like shots like that, or shots like this, or just shots like that, and they can't throw at you because they don't have their little aim thing. But if they move more to the right where they actually can throw at you, then that's when you move like right here. So that's perfect. And then you guys switch spots. So that moves me to this spot. Now if you're on this spot, it's pretty hard as sheriff, but you're just gonna hope to not get predicted. And as soon as they try and throw a knife at you, try and like bait them a little bit, you know, like try and like peek a little bit. If they're a mobile player, it's pretty easy to bait mobile players because they're obviously stuck in throw. Like say, like I try to throw it at me, like I could easily bait him like that because he's gonna throw it at me. That moves me to this corner because he still has time to put the knife back in his hand. So that's when you go on like ladders and stuff. So my ult's gonna go behind the tank, and then it's me unless he's a PC player. And once you get to like these things, they will panic like a lot because it's a really small space. So they're gonna run away, and yeah, that's basically it for no base. You just have to use the resources around here. I honestly think these bosses right here are like the best part of this map for before. But yeah, here I'm gonna give sheriff tips on this map for just like a few seconds. Basically just run around the entire map until they get much annoyed that they just rush when they don't care. That's when they panic, and then you just shoot them. It's basically like a trigger map as sheriff. It's like impossible to win as this map as murderer. But yeah, let's give some sheriff tips. So you have to be careful because people can predict you easily, but if they're predicting you, you have to like move around a little bit. Go in zigzags, go in first person and stuff. That's for mobile, but if you're on PC, definitely go into shift lock for a lot of times if you're juking. The shift lock confuses people a lot. Like one thing I like to do with people, so say he's like trying to throw it at me, and he's like rushing after me, so he's like, oh, that hitbox, dude. So say they're like running at me, I like doing this. I like just going around them because they get so confused. And since they can't stab, it's a lot easier for me. You can't really predict the sheriff like this, especially if you're like jumping around on them. So I like that's a good strategy as sheriff in a 1v1. In hospital 2. So this is, first of all, always go in stairs. Stairs 1v1s are always viable. Never go over there. If you're 1v1ing over there, it's gonna be just a mansion 2. Taking this spot is always better, and if you're murderer, taking that spot is always better. Actually, no. It's viable to go on this spot for both the roles because I'm going to show you guys why. So if you're sheriff, I think it's easier to be murderer on this map, but I'm going to explain both roles for this map. So if you're sheriff, murderer always has to rush. It's just a rule. Well, at least in our community it is. They would be pretty good at dodging. So you're going to move back. They're going to be like right here, okay? So they're going to be peeking and stuff. It's just going to be a little peek battle. And then they rush again like this. So that's when you run, and this is where it gets good for sheriff because you have so much resources. You get to peek right here, you get to go around this, and if they run over to this like little refrigerator, like he's right there, I can just jump out like right this way and then get a free shot like right there. And then I can also go in this little room, but usually I say no vents, so don't use the vents. But if they go in here, I can easily go around. I can go behind this, I can go behind this, and then jump over, and then shoot them like that, and then go off the other entrance way. You have so much spots right here, doors, this little cabinet, this little vent spot, red light, and there's just a lot of spots. And yeah, it's definitely easy to be on this part of the stairs because you just have so much resources to shoot them. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna move on to some more murder. On Biolab, this is gonna be the second last map we do for this video. And again, if you guys do want a part 2, just to more maps, if you want me to go over like how can I be good at this map or just more tips on roles, then I'll make a part 2 because I have a lot more tips. But yeah, on Biolab, first of all, always take this spot. And if you don't have that spot, look at my ult. If you don't have that spot, take that spot up there because when you're murderer, or sheriff or any role, you always have to go there if you're not in the spot that I'm in, because you can either jump down this way, you can jump down over here. I recommend going right here because it's pretty easy to predict, even though they can't shoot you through that. But yeah, it's always don't start off in those boxes over there because it's very easy to predict because there's only two sides. You can go back up, but it's easy to predict when they're walking on this. So I just say just only go on this. Just only jump down on this side. There's Sheriff. So I'm gonna give y'all an example of how to go on that side. So my ult is gonna go right here because it's definitely better to be Sheriff on that part. But yeah, so I'm gonna go right here. He's shooting at me, so I'm going to jump down, go this way. Now this is where it gets really hard to predict because I don't know. He doesn't know if I'm going this way or that way. But here's the thing: he doesn't know. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Like, I can do a lot of things with this little spot right here. So what you need to do is, like, you can, like, peek like this. And don't go in this tube. It's very easy to predict. But don't go behind this. You can go in it for a few seconds. But I say go straight to these boxes. Jump around. If ring's allowed, don't use it that much because it's going to get easy to predict when you're going on it. But here's a good dodge spot. You can go on these little wall spots. And you can like walk on them a little bit if you have a good animation. And it's a good time saver. And you can also go inside of this. And yeah, we don't have enough time. I don't know why 1v1's like setting and VIP servers are shorter. But yeah, that's basically all you need to know for Biolog. And those other boxes spot is just self-explanatory. You just stay there, wait for the murderer or sheriff to rush. But murderer always has to rush, but then again, it's very easy. Just to be on that side in general, I was just giving y'all tips on how to be on that side. But here we go. We got one more map to go over. Alright, we're on research facility. Now, although I hate this map, there's a lot of tips I have to go over on this map because there's a lot of stuff to talk about on this map, and I only have like 2 minutes. So what you want to do is definitely easier to be murder on this map, so that's why I chose Sheriff. So I'm going to help you guys with Sheriff on this map. First of all, so if you're starting off, always start at boxes. If you're not at boxes, then just go to tube, even though it's a lot easier to predict over there. What you want to do when you start, you either jump down and try and shoot them through rails, or you go in this little spot right here and hang on this, and then jump out and like peek a little bit. So you can either stay on this platform or go down there. I recommend going down here and just trying to shoot through rails because it's really hard for murder to hit through these rails because their knife is so big and it can rarely ever fit in there unless they have a knife like Ghost or Death Shard. But I suggest going down on this side because, actually no, go down on this side because it's a lot easier to not get predicted. And you can shoot through these little holes, you can go up with these stairs. And again, I give this tip a lot, but never go on these ladders because they are buggy. They're really slow, and it's very easy to predict someone on there. But yeah, and if you're Sheriff, you can also try and bait them. Like if you're going up here, you can maybe go up there, but you can bait them a little bit to act like you're going up there. They're gonna rush you, and then bam, shoot them just like that. And you can also maybe go down here just to try and like distract them a little bit. There's a lot of distractions if you are 1v1ing in this map. Like, you do this just to make them, just to distract them for like no reason. Like you go right here. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this map. A lot of distractions, a lot of just good spots. And if you're really lucky, if they're on this little spot right here, you can maybe shoot them. Like my ult's right here. Maybe if they're like right there, you can shoot them through that. It's possible. But yeah, that's going to be it for the tips and tricks video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and sub. And tell me some other tips you would want for a part 2. I don't know if I'm going to do a part 2. If you guys support this video well and give me some other tips to go over, maybe I will, because I do have some other maps to go over, like in studio, maybe hotel, and yeah, some other maps. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and sub, and I'll see you.